This story begins inside this residence, in a dimly lit room where a priest lies unconscious on a plain walnut bed. Doctors finished surgery 2 hours ago. Now the priest lies motionless. Surrounding him are his doctor and a few fellow priests. Outside in the hot June sun, hundreds of people wait. They've come from all over the country and beyond, from Oregon to New York, and from as far as Austria. It is a throng of individuals hobbling about on crutches or suffering from chronic pain or failing hearts. Some are blind. Mothers have brought ailing children. P.L. Koblitz of Cleveland has brought his 3-year-old daughter, who's unable to speak. Joseph Wolf came from Stillwater, Minnesota. He walks on his hands because his legs are paralyzed. There is hope for them here, in this small community overlooking Pittsburgh. They've come to receive a blessing from Father Mollinger, the famous priest who, they believe, has the power to heal, and who at this moment lies unconscious, not far away, on a plain walnut bed. The year is 1892, the time 2 o'clock. Inside, a crucifix is placed in Father Mollinger's grasp. News of his condition is passed along in a whisper. He was born Sweetbert Godfrey Mollinger in 1828 to a wealthy Belgian family. He received the best education and came to the United States in 1854 to become a priest. And on July 4, 1865, he became the first priest at Most Holy Name of Jesus Church in a sparsely populated community near Pittsburgh. It was called Troy Hill. There, he began offering blessings to the sick and ailing. Very quickly, he gained a reputation as a priest who could bring relief from physical suffering. There's something else you should probably know about this man. When he came to the United States, he brought with him a unique collection of thousands of relics. A relic is usually something left behind by a departed saint, a part of the body, a bone fragment perhaps, or a skull. Pieces of wood said to be part of the Last Supper table are highly regarded relics. Throughout history, relics were mostly kept in the possession of the Catholic Church. But in the 1800s, many relics fell into the open market in Europe. Father Mollinger wanted to save these relics, and he had the money to do it. By the early 1880s, he'd amassed a huge collection. To display these relics, he used his own funds to build St. Anthony's Chapel on Troy Hill. The chapel contained more than 5,000 relics. The largest collection of relics for public viewing in the world, said the New York Times. Among them were the complete remains of St. Demetrius, a tooth from St. Anthony, and a piece of wood said to be part of the crucifixion cross. As the years passed, Father Mollinger's reputation as a healer grew. Because he was trained in Europe as a physician, he sometimes prescribed medications and remedies. Crowds were largest in mid-June, during the Feast of St. Anthony. In 1892, crowd estimates were as high as 15,000. Ailing people slept in hallways and on porches or in open fields. This was a special year for Father Mollinger. He had overseen an expansion of St. Anthony's Chapel. Now it housed a set of dramatic Stations of the Cross. The addition would be dedicated during the feast's celebration. Thousands of people would stream through the chapel in the next few weeks. Father Mollinger planned to be there to offer individual blessings to them all. On the morning of June 13th, Father Mollinger offered a general blessing to the crowd gathered in front of the chapel. People surged forward, hoping to touch his robe or be sprinkled with holy water. The effort exhausted the 63-year-old priest. Individual blessings were to begin at 2 o'clock. Outside the chapel, the crowd waited patiently. P.L. Koblitz hoped to hear his daughter's voice. Joseph Wolf hoped to walk on his feet, not his hands. The appointed hour came and then passed. Finally, the doors of the chapel were flung open. 2 priests emerged, but Father Mollinger was not one of them. He was ill, the crowd was told. The pain from a recurring stomach ailment was at times so great, Father Mollinger could do little but lie on the floor of his room. His doctor said his only hope of survival was surgery. So on the morning of June 15th, Father Mollinger uttered the words, "Everything is all right." Then the surgeon began his work. And so now we're back outside the residence, with the crowd, awaiting news of Father Mollinger's condition. Shortly after 2 o'clock, the whispered words in the residence are heard. "He is dead." The news moves swiftly through the crowd. Some fall to their knees and pray. Others faint. A few dash away to spread the news. The famous healing priest, Father Mollinger, has died. On Troy Hill, it is a moment of great sadness and disappointment. P.L. Kolblitz and Joseph Wolfe and all the others hoping for miracles return to their homes. Their fates are lost to history. Troy Hill changes in the following decades. The city it overlooks becomes an industrial powerhouse, then loses that power and becomes the center of newer, modern forms of healing. And what remains of Father Mollinger, his legacy, is the chapel. It continues to hold one of the world's most remarkable collections, a collection that forms a tangible connection between this small Pittsburgh community and some of the most influential figures and events in the history of Christianity.